Thank you, Nicole. Now, she was convicted of murder, and she was part of one of the most hideous killing cults of all time, the Manson family. But now at 73, Leslie Van Houten is still in prison for her crimes, but she scored a major victory in the State Court of Appeals.
That's right, Pat. Today, the court ruled she is eligible for parole after being denied 5 times by former Governor Jerry Brown and current Governor Gavin Newsom.
And KCAL News political reporter Tom Wade is here to explain this. And Tom, does this mean that she'll be going free?
No, not immediately. So now the governor has a chance to decide whether or not to ask the attorney general, whether or not to take it, appeal this ruling. So far, we have not heard from the governor, but based on his past behavior, he probably will. So we'll see what happens after that. Then the ruling then could sort of depend on will they let her out while this is all going on. So lots still in motion here. So the argument from Van Houten's attorney has been she's reformed, she's changed. She spent decades paying for her crimes, but family members of those she helped murder say it doesn't matter. It doesn't change what she did, and they say she should stay locked up.
She's really very remorseful.
Leslie Van Houten's attorney describing her client's state of mind. Van Houten was a Manson follower and convicted for participating in 2 of the infamous murders. At 73, she's been recommended for parole 5 times, though Van Houten's parole was ultimately denied by both former Governor Jerry Brown and current Governor Gavin Newsom. But now a new ruling from the State Court of Appeals says Van Houten is entitled to parole.
The standard for parole is that the inmate has to no longer pose an unreasonable risk of danger to public safety, and it's based on her current mentality and behavior. All the governor has to do is cite a modicum of evidence, which is a very low standard. In this case, the governor cited no evidence.
After Van Houten was recommended for parole in 2020, Newsom blocked the decision, saying there were inconsistencies between Van Houten's recent statements and those made during the killings in 1969, saying Van Houten lacked insight, candor, or both. But Tuesday, the State Court of Appeals said, "We review the governor's decision under the highly deferential some evidence standard, in which even a modicum of evidence is sufficient to uphold the reversal. Even so, we hold on this record there is no evidence to support the governor's conclusions."
You've had a parole board who specializes in evaluating an individual's rehabilitation find 5 separate times that this person is suited for return to society, and the governor is overruling it. And I think that's really laid bare when the appeals court said, listen, all you have to do, Governor Newsom, is show some evidence of her dangerousness. You've shown none. There is no evidence of dangerousness. So it is remarkable in that sense that he couldn't even put forward one or some evidence, one reason that she shouldn't be released over the parole board's objection.
The governor now has a chance to appeal the ruling, which means Van Houten will continue to wait for her freedom. But her attorney says she is encouraged.
We emailed and she just said, I just have to sit back and collect myself to think about this for a while. So it is a big change, but she's ready for the challenge.
Van Houten was convicted for taking part in the killings of Lino and Rosemary LaBianca. Back in 2016, we spoke with the LaBianca's grandson after Van Houten was recommended for parole. It was gut-wrenching for Tony LaMontagne to hear Van Houten might be set free.
They're making a decision to allow a murderer to come back into your neighborhood, my neighborhood. Last time they were in my neighborhood, they killed my family.
Van Houten's parole would be ultimately denied that year. We asked her attorney if Van Houten thinks about what her potential release now would mean to the families of the victims.
And she has told me and others and the board that it's hard for her to live with what she's done every day. She struggles with that. And I, too, feel for the LaBianca family. There's no defending what she did. It was a terrible crime, but it was 54 years ago. And there's a lot of circumstances that led up to that she understands, and she's just not that same person.
I did speak this evening with a relative of one of the victims who said they, along with other victims' family members, are collecting their feelings about this ruling, and they were not ready yet to speak publicly. Pat.
All right, there'll be a lot more on this, of course, in the coming days, months, or maybe even longer, Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you.